skills. I did the math.
Viewers in New York might recognize Kate, as well as Chicago, where you moved after New York and spent many, many years there, where you still live. And you have a podcast and show on PBS that you do as well.
I do. I'm the creator and producer of a show called To Dine For, which takes place in restaurants. That's why I'm so thrilled to be here at the Sunrise
you feel
Diner.
Right at home here.
I do.
Wait till you taste the food. That's going to come a little bit later.
Yes.
Think about what may be on your breakfast menu this morning.
I have my go-to diner order at the ready.
You know that diners are the place where people come to talk, right, boy? Oh, boy. They will be talking today. They've been talking nonstop, Kate. Since noon yesterday. That's when Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, maybe you heard about this. Yeah, they're engaged, and they announced it on their Instagram accounts. Look at that photograph. He's down on one knee. Their caption read, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married."
That is cute. That is cute. And it is so fitting. It looks dreamy. It looks like AI created this backdrop, does it not?
It kind of does. We're going to talk a little bit about how that transpired out there in that garden, but we'd like to say first that we broke the news here on Connecting America. Well, we didn't, but we came so close the other day. We had USA Today's Taylor Swift reporter Brian West on the show, and he did share some clues that the big day might, in fact, be coming. About whether there might be an engagement ring coming somewhere down the road. I mean, that'd be huge, obviously.
It's quite possible. I know that he said 3 times in the interview, "I'm the luckiest man in the world."
The telltale sign, the luckiest man in the world. When do men say that? It's really only once, when they win the Super Bowl or when they're engaged.
And, a Cleveland television station actually interviewed her father,
Travis's father.
Travis's father, I should say, not her father. And he actually says this happened a couple of weeks ago.
I believe it. And kudos to them for keeping it under wraps.
So that would have been before the New Heights podcast, and she didn't have the ring on. By the way, what do you think of the ring?
Well,
we like this ring.
There's a quote that my friend once said, "It's only gaudy when it's on someone else." And I really think it's gorgeous. It's beautiful and it's expensive.
Oh my gosh. So I was talking to a jeweler friend of mine last night, and I said, there are reports this is like between $800,000 to $1 million, this ring. And he said, sounds spot on.
Yeah. You need armed guards when you go anywhere with the ring on.
But kudos to Travis. Apparently, he helped design it himself.
Did he?
Yeah. And it's called an Old Mine Brilliant Cut. Just for future reference. I mean, if you want to maybe
for my second husband.
Or just redo your current ring. All right, we have
happily married
team smotherage this morning, and I'm not talking about disco fries with gravy. Our own Hannah Davis is a born and bred Kansan, diehard Chiefs fan, so she's been following this football-infused romance from day one. She's going to join us coming up in a few minutes.
And a little bit later in the show, we will speak with our USA Today's showbiz insider, Ralphie Aversa, and get all of what's coming up.
Maybe some more Easter eggs.
Yes.
About when's the wedding going to happen. All right. Let's talk about some non-Swifty news. Would you trust a driverless car? Waymo is coming to New York City. It's been up and running in other cities like San Francisco. After some issues there, seems to be widely accepted as a way of getting around the city. Seriously, letting a machine do the driving through the streets of Manhattan. This ride right here was out in San Fran. Apparently, it went smoothly because the person who took the video was able to share it with us.
Oh my goodness. I think I would be like this the entire time.
And taxi drivers, the unions are not happy about this. They say this is going to cost them many, many jobs. And they say New York City just doesn't work for a driverless vehicle. You got to honk your horn. That's part of the lingo. It's part of the day. That's how they communicate with other drivers. I don't know. I've never been in one yet.
Heck no would be my answer, but we want to ask you the question in our question of the day, which is, would you ride a self-driving car, especially in a big city like New York City or really any city? So here's the debate. Let's roll or no way, no how. You can see that QR code on the bottom of the screen. Snap it with your mobile phone. That's the way to cast your vote. So again, would you ride a self-driving car in a big city? Please let us know what you think.
So far, early this morning, it's no way, no how. See if that changes. All right. Other big news. Did you hear Uncle Herschel is back in his Cracker Barrel
He
chair?
sure is.
The country themed chain had a change of heart, apparently, with its new logo. I wonder why they made this go back to the original. Well, there was a social media storm that accused the chain of giving in to woke pressure. Cracker Barrel sent a message Tuesday. We're going back to the logo. It's been 47 years. Why change it? So the new one was on the right.
Yes.
Of course, the original there on the left with Uncle Herschel leaning against that barrel. And this generated so much talk. And I mean, on both sides of the political aisle.
Yeah.
We had the president weighing in.
We sure did. It's a question of nostalgia. You know, people want to hang on to what they love. And I think it's also become a political hot button issue when liberals accuse the conservatives of stirring the pot to play the woke and victims card again.
Yeah, let's bring in Republican strategist Jeanette Hoffman to talk about this. Let's assume everyone hated this new logo, Jeanette. But don't we have better things to do than, weigh in on whether Uncle Herschel should be there or not?
No, we don't, obviously. I mean, listen, listen, I'm coming from a political point of view and a PR point of view. From a marketing standpoint, it is very difficult to create a brand, an iconic brand like Cracker Barrel that people actually care about and feel some ownership. And Cracker Barrel actually did it and then erased it with this corporate rebranding that absolutely nobody asked for, created this huge stir in social media, and lost $100 million in the stock market, basically overnight. So the fact of the matter is there's always an opportunity when there's a crisis, right? So they did the right thing. They listened to their customers. They said, we hear you. We're going back to the old logo. And I think they're going to get a ton more customers by doing that.
The question is, would they have changed it if President Trump didn't weigh in, right? It's one thing if the customers say, hey, we don't like the logo, please bring it back, and then they changed it. That's a great PR move. But when the president makes a remark and they change it, is it because of him or is it because of the customers? What do you make of that?
Well, I think that may have been the tipping point for Cracker Barrel. I mean, when the president of the United States starts weighing in on your marketing decisions, I think you have a problem. But it also shows like how bad a decision this was. Listen, Cracker Barrel is just not like a fast casual chain. I think if Applebee's or Denny's had changed their logo, probably no one would notice. But Cracker Barrel, sells, as you said, Kate, nostalgia. It sells a feeling. It's a brand that was based in Tennessee. It's very popular in the South. So you're catering to customers that are more conservative in their base. And frankly, they're tired of what's called woke washing, of basically erasing America's conservative culture. And I think that's why you saw President Trump weigh in. And I think they just wanted to avoid more political fallout and making this a basically red state, blue state issue.
Yeah.
We've seen other fiascos in terms of rebranding and going back to the original brand, but this happened so fast. Social media playing a big part of this, right?
Absolutely. And you know what this kind of reminds me of, and I'm dating myself. Do you remember like back, I think in the 80s or 90s, Coca-Cola changed their formula.
Yes.
They went from
yeah.
the old Coke to the new Coke.
Of course.
Everybody hated New Coke.
Yes.
I don't think there was one person that liked it. So then they went back to Coca-Cola Classic and everybody was like, oh, thank goodness. And it was great. And Coca-Cola continues to surge. And I think that's what's going to happen to Cracker Barrel. This is going to be, a blip on their radar screen. They're going to go back to the, Uncle Herschel, the old timer around the barrel. They're going to continue to have, the food that people love, the country fried steak, the old timer store, and
the little
that's that
pegboard games.
Yes,
the pegboard games that kids love and people remember from their childhood, and families will continue to go there.
Yeah, no, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And the thing is about Cracker Barrel, it is nostalgic. It's warm. It is a feeling, as you said, and they listen to their customers. But before we let you go, Jeanette, we wanted to get your take on one other story making headlines. The new global editor of Vanity Fair says she may invite the current First Lady onto the cover. According to the Daily Mail, anonymous staffers claimed there would be a meltdown if Melania Trump is on the cover. In quote, they said, I will walk out the door and half the staff will follow me. That's what one editor told this outlet.
What do you think, Jeanette?
I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think this should be controversial at all. And I'll put on, a different hat. Say they had Jill Biden on the cover. Do you think it would invite such controversy? I don't think it would. This is the first lady of our country. Just think people should stop being so political and so partisan and view this as America. So listen, if people want to walk out the door, I think Vanity Fair should say, good, we can find other people to replace them. It's absolutely ridiculous.
All right, Jeanette, thanks so much for weighing in on all things Cracker Barrel and on the First Lady maybe being on that cover. We appreciate it this morning. Great to see you.
It's always great to be with you guys. Have a great day.
You too.
To other news right now, a massive dust storm known as a haboob, that is your word of the day, swept through Arizona on Monday. It caused widespread disruption across the Phoenix, look at it, metropolitan area. That is your classic haboob.
I see that coming at me. I just don't know what to do.
I don't keep driving, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Yeah, visibility was near zero, turning day into night during evening rush. The haboob lasted 15 minutes, followed by heavy rain that then brought flooding. The 1-2 combo downed power lines, and 15,000 homes lost power in Phoenix. And flights out of the Sky Harbor Airport were grounded.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Yeah, haboob from the Arabic word hab, which means wind. So
look at you, Kate.
Yes. Well, I've had to say haboob a couple times in my anchoring career, but otherwise I wouldn't normally, that does not roll off the tongue.
You know who probably knows all about haboobs is Alex De Silva, our AccuWeather meteorologist. He's taking a look at how Labor Day, the weekend's shaping up, hopefully better for Arizona and the rest of the country. Alex, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We are well, thanks. What do you see on your horizon for the weekend coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. But I just wanted to start off with that haboob story you talked about. A lot of times, these are pretty common in the Southwest. Now, usually they happen away from population centers, luckily, but every once in a while you get one that comes through kind of a major metropolitan area. Essentially what happens is monsoonal thunderstorms occur, and there's big downdrafts that come out of these thunderstorms. They spread out when they hit the ground, and then when they hit that dusty, dry air, they catapult it up into the air, and that's what causes those big clouds that you see sweeping across the landscape. They're most common in the summertime when it's typically dry, but we're going to have to watch out for some haboobs, I think, as we go into the holiday weekend here. The monsoonal thunderstorms, I think, are going to continue across portions of Arizona and New Mexico. So we're going to have to keep a close eye out for that. But some good news, if you're a lover of fall, I think a lot of the East Coast is going to be beautiful this upcoming weekend. If you're going to be out going for college football games, tailgating weather, it is going to be absolutely perfect, I think, across portions of the Midwest and Northeast. We are going to be having a cold front stalling across the Southeast that could bring some pretty heavy rain across portions of the Southeast and Florida. We'll have to watch to see if this could potentially develop into a tropical system as it's moving off the Southeast coast.
Labor Day, always the gateway into fall, and fall a little bit cooler weather, a lot of travel. How do you think travel will be affected at all by all that rain going on in Florida?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a possibility. We're going to have to watch those airports very carefully. Some of these major metropolitan, Orlando, Tampa, certainly Miami could be under the gun here for some showers and thunderstorms. I don't think it's going to be widespread flooding or anything like that, but there definitely could be some localized downpours that could put a damper on your Labor Day plans here.
We are in hurricane season, right, Alex? Anything brewing in the tropics?
Yeah, we're going to have to watch that area coming across the Southeast. Again, the stalled front coming down, we call this homegrown development when it occurs close to the United States, when we see that development close to the U.S. Now, usually the hurricane season is kind of bookended by this homegrown development. We usually see it early in the season and late in the season because that's when you typically have cold fronts sweeping down across the United States. So it's a little bit unusual to see this cold front advancing so far south. Now, many in the Northeast and Midwest are loving this because we finally get a break from that big-time humidity we've been dealing with. But it can kick off potentially a tropical system. We think the chance is very low right now, but an interesting stat is that this could be the first time in about 30 or in over 30 years that we could go back-to-back hurricane seasons without a named tropical system. So if this does not develop, this would be the first time since the 1991 and 1992 hurricane season where no active tropical systems were going in the Atlantic on Labor Day.
Oh, that's amazing. Let's hope for a very calm Labor Day. It looks like we might get it.
That would be fantastic. Alex, thanks so much.
Yeah, as we've been telling you, it is the biggest news on social media, still the top search on Google. And it's funny, it's breaking news that happened several weeks ago. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are engaged. Look at that idyllic, beautiful garden photo.
You don't think that's real? The garden? You think it's AI?
That looks like a Vogue shoot, doesn't it? This is the superstar and Kansas City Chiefs tight end who announced on their Instagram accounts late yesterday with such a cute caption. It says, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." That's what the caption on the post reads. And I'm really thrilled for them. And I'm just so impressed that they were able to keep it under wraps for a couple of weeks.
Kudos to them for that. That's amazing. And our resident pop culture junkie and Kansas City Chiefs superfan Hannah Davis joining us now to break it all down from how this rocked the world. Hannah, are you okay? I mean, did you calm down yet?
Am I okay? Jim, Kate, I'm better than okay. I was actually surprised that I had such an emotional reaction. I like to think that I have a good head on my shoulders. I'll tell you, when I saw this news, I smiled. I started texting people. I was actually on a work call and told the folks in the work, hey, everybody, forget the project. Did you know this engagement happened? Am I alone here?
Right.
No, you're not alone.
It happened everywhere like that. I mean, even at the U.S. Open, I think they here in New York, they announced it. The commentators, it was happening in real time. His dad said that Travis got her to come out into that garden. Let's go have a little drink. Mm-hmm. She had no idea what was happening. Right.
I think that's the perfect move. Just say, have a glass of wine. You've got me right there. Jim, I was listening to you do your research earlier. Ed Kelce spilled a lot of tea on exactly how this happened. But again, I think that reminds us these are normal people. This is just a family. But Kate, I also heard you talking about the ring. Do you want to hear the Rock report?
Please,
yes.
Please give us the
Rock
report.
I've been doing some research. I have to look at my notes. According to Vogue, it is between $500,000 to $1 million, guys. Wow. This thing is going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a stunning ring. And I heard a couple of weeks ago they were house shopping in Ohio. Did you also hear this? And that certainly is a tip-off that an engagement was coming, wasn't it?
No, I didn't hear that, but I can't keep up on this story. My phone was blowing up overnight. So many developments, so many things coming in. I want to go back to that workplace disruption. Look at this post from Corporate Natalie, guys. I think this sums it up.
I mean, this is important, but I do want to just take a second to come back to Taylor Swift getting engaged 10 minutes ago. Did everyone see that? I just feel like really emotional that she finally found her person. Sorry, yeah, we can get back to the key risk indicators. The rock on her finger. She deserves it. She deserves it, just like you deserved it.
I love it, especially when she's written so many songs about heartache and heartbreak, right? We've all been there with her, and to have her happy moment, be so public, it warms your heart.
Hannah, when you were on your work call, and you sort of broke the news to everyone, what was their reaction?
Well, it was funny. This was a corporate client that I have, and it's all men. They could not care less, but I was trying to explain to them what this means, what it will mean to their girlfriends and wives when they get home. So I think I did them a public service.
Yes, you definitely did. They sort of have blank looks on their faces.
Yes, they could not care less. They wanted to hear about revenue, but I had to set the record straight. This is all so interesting. I think this might be more of a PR move, but actually H&R Block in Kansas City sent everybody home yesterday, said, look, no work is going to happen. Go home, celebrate, have fun. I think this is their marketing team going into overdrive, but good work on their end. What do you guys think?
That is a PR coup if I have ever heard it. Wow, that was brilliant.
Excellent. So I think that was kind of a funny point, but I want you to look at this next soundbite. This is from an Instagram influencer. He's really big into marketing. Now, this was fascinating. What this announcement did to other advertising campaigns that were supposed to roll out yesterday. Listen to this. This shows the power of this couple.
After email saying because of Taylor Swift's engagement, all posts that are supposed to go out today that are paid activations, all delayed because it's taken literally the internet by storm, and they're afraid they won't see the natural return that they would typically for any other day. She broke the internet.
She broke the internet.
She broke the
She did.
internet. Oh, that is
That tells me
awesome.
everything.
Yeah. You know, it's funny
Okay.
when I heard firsthand that that his parents loved her and that her parents loved him. That was
Yeah.
about a year ago, and I felt like the writing was on the wall, that that's where we were headed.
You felt this was coming.
I did feel
Yeah.
that was coming. Is that also how you felt?
You know, everybody asks me that because I am from Kansas, huge Chiefs fan, admire Taylor Swift, don't really listen to a ton of her music, but that's been on my to-do list. Um, I've loved this. I'm rooting for him. But everybody keeps asking me, do I think it's going to go the distance? Who can make that prediction? Who knows?
Right.
And I'm just thinking, okay, she's got this new album coming out. Is there a song on there about their new life together?
So what they actually said on that New Heights podcast was this CD, this album is going to be totally different. And what she said, this was a super sweet moment. She goes, yeah, it's different because my life is different. My life is so much more positive. It's so much more happy. It's no longer about heartbreak. It's about love. So you love to hear that. There's one other point I want to hit on here, just showing you how big the story is, guys. There was a cabinet meeting with the leader of the free world yesterday, right? A reporter had one chance to ask one question. What do you think they asked about? They asked about Taylor, and the president responded. I mean, come on, that says it all.
You know, it's great to see happiness, and she looks happy, he looks happy, and
Yeah.
let's just leave it at that. Let's let two people be happy, right?
Yes.
Anna Davis, thanks for being with us this morning. We'll see you again. Always love getting her take on what's going on, in the digital world. All right, more to come on Connecting America. Coming up next, we're going to speak with psychologist Dr. Jeff Gardier. It's back to school season. He's going to help us with parents who are helping their kids manage that stress and anxiety as they head back to class. So stay with us. Welcome back to Connecting America, coming to you live from the Sunrise Diner here in Roselle Park, New Jersey. Welcoming Mark Bonamo back to the table. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. How are you
Hi,
guys
Mark.
doing?
Glad to see you here, and you all decked out in your red and
That's
red,
right.
white, and blue,
And look at
some
us.
green.
Our television
The Italian colors.
That's right. We
Right.
didn't
Without
even
even
plan it,
trying.
Mark.
Right. Here we go.
Back to school time. For
Yes,
lots
absolutely.
of families across America. It can be really stressful.
It certainly can. I've got a 10, 8, and 6-year-old. Extremely
Ooh,
stressful.
3 of them.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you're in kindergarten or you're headed to college. But now we have incidents like active shooter hoaxes that are happening across the country. And last week at Villanova University, they're adding a whole new layer of anxiety for kids and parents.
Right at the start of the school year. So we're asking psychologist Dr. Jeff Gardier to join us. Good morning, Jeff. Help us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you. Help us understand ways that we can reduce this stress and give families the tools to cope when these kind of incidents happen.
Well, first of all, Jim, one of the things we have to understand is when one of these incidents happen, it can affect kids in so many different ways. They have a distrust of the school system. They have a distrust of police. They don't feel safe. And we know Kate will tell you how important that is for her children to have that safe haven that's no longer there. And the person who may be targeted, if not the school, will have all sorts of issues, whether personal or procedural issues as far as keeping their kids safe. But there are a lot of things that we can do as parents. First of all, we have to give parental support to our kids. And that means calm reassurance, open communication, validating their fear so we have that communication with them. The school response is important too. Kate, I know you can speak on this. It's important that we make sure that we get our kids some counseling, that there are some trauma-informed practices that the school can provide along with the parents. And of course, when it comes to safety planning, we get our kids to buy into that because now that empowers them and reduces the fear that they now have when they're in school of things happening unexpectedly.
Jeff, this happened at Villanova, right? So it was a discussion amongst college students. But how do you explain it to a younger child, maybe kindergarten all the way through elementary school, so that it's less scary for them? What kind of words, or do you have any advice for how to handle it with smaller children?
Well, first of all, I have a bunch of kids too, Kate, and my youngest ones are 10 and 8, so I understand a lot of what your concerns are. I know with my children, it's important that once they come back from school after something like this has happened, that we sit them down, we let them know we love you, we're trying to keep you safe. But more important than that is validating their feelings, listening to what it is that they are experiencing, what their fears are, and letting them know that it's okay to feel that way. And then, Kate, I think it's important that at that point, maybe we accompany them to school for the next week or so, just to sort of reinstitute that safety that is important to their academic and social life.
Yes, some added comfort. You know, it sounds so simple, listening, but it is so powerful. And I love how you said really validating however they feel.
Yeah,
What about-
absolutely.
Jeff, what about sort of flipping the script here? Can you help us, if there is any way, to get into the mindset of those who find it necessary to make these calls, these swatting calls? Is this a thrill seeker? Maybe there's a grudge in some cases. I understand this started way back with gamers, apparently.
Yes. Yeah, Jim, it's a great question. And one of the things I deal with all the time when parents speak to me as to why these things are happening and who's making them happen. Just as a parent, as a lay person, I'd be very angry at one of these swatters. But as a psychologist, my fiduciary duty is understanding the mind. And so these are individuals who may be stuck in doing their gaming, who are living in this virtual world, who need some sort of stimulation and doing it in all of the wrong ways. Maybe they have a grudge with the school or a grudge with other students. These are people who are usually picked on. They're outside of the norm. We used to call them nerds back in the day. Mark, I know you know what I'm talking about, though you're not a nerd. We love you. And so,
are you sure about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm proud to be a nerd.
Absolutely.
Lovable nerd.
Absolutely. So, these are individuals who we have to make sure that we actually give them some sort of validation for whatever it is that they're going through, that we make sure that we get them some counseling. If we see that they're isolating themselves, just stuck in that virtual world, we just can't leave them there. It's our responsibility as parents, teachers, schools, and society to address their issues, or we may see even worse acting out.
All right.
Dr. Jeff, thanks so much. Proud nerds here at the table. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly.
Every day.
We have a lot more coming up on Connecting America. Coming up next, the U.S. Coast Guard makes the largest cocaine and marijuana seizure in its history. We're going to tell you just how big that all is when we come right back. What was your favorite? Welcome back to Connecting America. We're just getting started this morning. We may not be nerds, but we are all podcasters, right, Kate?
We are indeed.
Tell us about your podcast, To Dine For. I love the name, first of all.
Thank you. It's a companion to the TV show, To Dine For, the podcast. And really, it's the story of people's career success. And I always begin by asking someone their favorite restaurant. Here we are in a diner, because I really feel like someone's favorite restaurant says a lot about them. It says, where they came from, their culture. It could be just their obsession with a great cheeseburger. But whatever it is, it's always like a great starting point for a conversation. And don't you find that you always have better conversations while you're eating than you do like with just sitting here? We
Speaking
need
of
food.
which, we're hungry.
Diner talk is very real
Yes.
when it takes place.
Your
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us
The
about it.
Jersey Angle with my partner, Brian Donahue. It's from a local media saying that almost any story that you could possibly think about has a Jersey angle. Jersey somehow permeates our culture.
Love that.
And it is a gift for any local reporters because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
I
all
also
roads
love
lead
that,
back.
you know, we're journalists and we're all exploring new ways to get our stories out there. Fundamentally, we love finding and telling good stories.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what keeps me going.
Oh,
Yep.
I'll tell you, I enjoy the podcast more than I've been on TV for like 30 years. And I enjoy doing a podcast more than a television show any day because
Right.
there's no frills. It's just one-on-one conversation.
Let it out.
Right. It's
Right.
so
And
enjoyable.
It's one long conversation.
It is,
Right. It's
yeah.
not broken up into little sound bites. I'm about to dive into this world with my
Yes.
podcast. I hope it will drop coming up next month called Life Unexpectancy, about those curveballs and triumphs that can come at us without warning. And there's no set of instructions. And you sort of have to figure out in real time, what do I do with this sudden life
And
unexpectancy?
everybody has one
Yeah.
of those, right? Everyone has a moment like
Had
that.
so much fun talking to the guests, and we'll talk more about it as we get ready to drop it. But
Yeah,
let's
changing
talk
gears
about
a little
what
bit.
else is going on?
Yeah, let's change gears and talk some news right now. The U.S. Coast Guard says it stopped 61,000 pounds of cocaine and 14,000 pounds of marijuana from arriving in the U.S. Look at this video. The narcotics were seized over several months this summer from 11 ships intercepted in international waters across the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. The street value of these drugs was $437 million. $437 million. There was enough cocaine for 23 million lethal doses. Since January, the Coast Guard has seized more than 242,000 pounds of cocaine. Wow.
And you know what's also out there is the counterfeit and pills that are laced with fentanyl, and that's much easier to transport. There's no odor. That's smaller packages, so that's also something that they're
Many
they're
times
always
more
looking out
lethal
for.
than
And-
other opioids,
and
including
very,
heroin.
very lethal. All right, President Trump, that anti-flag burning executive order, not exactly sitting well with many Americans. Just hours after he signed the order on Monday, Jay Carey, a retired combat veteran and Bronze Star recipient, set fire to a U.S. flag in Lafayette Square in D.C. in protest. Viral video was posted on X by user The Bulwark at around the 35-second mark. I guess we're not going to see that, but you saw him set fire to the flag. Now, in this case, the Secret Service said he was detained not for burning the flag, because the Supreme Court has said that's your First Amendment right, but for setting fire in a federal park.
Yeah, and then also on Cape Cod, police say several flags were torn down on a bridge on the very same day, although they aren't making a direct connection. Many conservatives are taking issue with the president's executive order, saying it's a matter of free speech, even if they don't agree with anyone burning the flag.
Yeah, we've seen some surprising pushback on the far right, saying this is not a good idea, President Trump.
Right. Well, when we're talking about First Amendment rights, I think whether it's on the left or on the right, people are very averse to the idea of playing with one of the most fundamental parts of our Constitution.
And the president has said in the executive order, he's been careful to say the language sort of couches it to say, yes, we acknowledge, and I'm paraphrasing widely here, your First Amendment right. But if you do this in conjunction with inciting violence or a riot, that's where it crosses the line. Things are dropping here at the Sunrise Diner. That's where it would cross the line. But there are those who say the president isn't allowed to, change the Constitution.
Well, and also, does it bring more attention? And does, by him speaking about it, are we going to see more incidents because he is bringing it first and fore? And are some of the people who wouldn't have done it starting to do it?
Yeah, there are those who are predicting we're going to see a lot more flag burnings just because of this executive order.
Right.
Well, this is the part of the show where we all get weirded out or insecure about our jobs because we want to go to AI Adam. Kate, have you seen him?
I have not. This
Not
is the
met
first
AI
one.
Adam
I
yet?
have not.
No.
Well, here he is with your AI update. Hi, Adam.
It's Adam, your AI anchor. Now you can send your kids to school to be just like me. Okay, not really. But in Virginia, you can pay $65,000 a year for an AI private school. No teachers, just awesome AI educators like yours truly. According to the Washington Post, kids only go to class 2 hours per day. They get adaptive apps and personalized lesson plans. Then they have all afternoon to work on life skills like financial literacy and riding a bike. I never thought of bike riding as a life skill. But then again, I don't have legs. Keep watching Connecting America for more AI updates from the best-looking AI anchor this side of Scranton. Now back to you humans in the diner.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, AI Adam, how are you? Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're not a person.
Yeah,
He has a very dry
he
sense of
does.
humor.
There's
Yeah.
not even a smirk or a smile, no emotion from
He
AI
didn't
Adam.
insult you, Kate,
No, he
because I've been on the receiving end of some insults from Adam.
Oh,
It's very creative.
I can't believe $65,000 a year, and it's only 2 hours of education.
Right, and then the rest of the day, as he said, is devoted to learning other life skills.
But are the
That's
teachers
a lot
there?
of money. That's a lot of money.
Are the kids on their own? Because they say it's 2 hours of instruction, but the teachers then facilitate other
Right.
activities.
Yes.
Okay,
But
got
you
it.
know what? We're going to set up a call with you and Adam, and you can discuss this
I
with
have more
him.
questions
to
for
learn
Adam.
more.
Is he ready for my questions? Is the question.
He's ready for anything.
Yes. Well, up next, you've ordered books, shoes, even groceries on Amazon. But what about a car? Get ready to add to cart when Connecting America comes right back. Welcome back to Connecting America. I am really excited about this next story because I think it's very interesting.
I'm posting, sorry.
You feel free.
Yeah,
you
just,
do your social media thing.
mhm.
Hertz and Amazon are partnering to change the way you shop for used cars. I'd love to know what you think about it. You can now browse, buy, and finance used rental cars from Hertz directly on Amazon Auto. Amazon got into the auto business at the end of last year with Hyundai. And once you add to cart and then purchase, pickup will be at local Hertz car sales locations. Hertz says it's starting the partnership in Dallas, then it will roll out to Houston, LA, Seattle, eventually expanding nationwide. And I will tell you, of all the things in life that I detest, it's car shopping.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of
I'm with you.
I can see this coming. I have not had a car in almost 20 years. We desperately need 2 cars in our family. We have one. We're making it work. I am in the market for a car, and I just can't bring myself to walk onto an auto lot. Do you know? It's a feeling. I don't know if it's being a woman and going
And you
onto
don't
the auto
like
lot. It's a
the
different
negotiating process.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And facilitating the process for used cars. If people are kind of economically struggling right now,
Right.
maybe they want to do the used car option. And look, same thing. I've got a car that's about 20 years old, deep into 6 figures on the mileage. It works.
Yes.
But don't you want to kick the tires literally before you hit add to cart? I mean, don't you
Especially
want to see
with
it
a
in
used
person?
car. Yes.
True.
And those rental cars, obviously, they're, they work hard
Right.
for the renters. So they put a lot of miles on those cars.
But
Right.
sometimes it's just about the money. You need a vehicle, right? You have a
Right.
certain budget. Let's say you want to get a car, the best car you can for under $5,000, right?
Right.
You're going through, and then yes, it would be ideal, but if you need a car, you need a car.
Right. And there are a lot of places around the country don't particularly have good public transportation.
Right.
You've got to be on the road.
Yep,
All
exactly.
right. Did you get your Powerball ticket yet?
I did not.
No.
None of us did. Tonight's jackpot, you might want to rethink this. 815 mil.
Ooh.
There you go.
7th largest Powerball in its history. You can take the top prize in 30 installments, guys, or that lump sum of around 370 million. But keep this in mind. The odds of winning, this is always the downer here. 1 in 292 million.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Biggest jackpot, if you recall, was in 2022. That's when it was worth $2 billion.
That is just sick.
So
But
we
what
know
would you
where
even
we're going
do?
after the show.
I
Yes,
know.
we're going
Look,
straight.
the odds aren't good, but you literally got to be in it to win it.
That's true. That's
And
true.
then you can start thinking, what am I going to do?
Yes,
Can you
look at
pick
this
up
lotto
Tickets
representative.
for all of
here.
us, and then we'll talk about how it's going to be split
You can
up.
split it.
Yeah.
Maybe, somebody who always wants a cut. You got to think about it.
All right. And we know you're going to robe the diner coming up in a little bit. We love hearing from the patrons here.
Exactly. Well, look, part of what we're trying to do on Connecting America is talk to our fellow Americans, start to relate. The whole idea of civil discourse in our society in many ways has been lost. And you literally have to engage people. We're talking a lot about AI and the whole idea of, in the digital age, that personal touch is getting lost.
Absolutely.
Here, you're looking somebody in the eye. Some of
Right.
the people I've talked to have said to me, I need to be face to face with people.
Yeah.
I need that interpersonal relationship. And that's what we're trying to
Well,
do.
we're human. We need connection.
Right.
And we're a better place to do it than a diner. I'm really interested. Do you think you'll talk to them about, buying a car on Amazon? I mean, it'd be interesting to hear what they think. I mean,
Buying a
would they
car on
do it?
Amazon, and always the question is what when it comes to Powerball, and it gets to these ridiculous sums of money, and they're saying, what would you do? You're going to buy a car, or you're going to buy a country,
Or an island for sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
why not? So that's what it is. It's that, again, the idea of there's so many ranges of opinion when you talk to people.
We love
as
hearing
well.
all of them.
That's right. And, it's funny, as a journalist, I wake up every morning. One of the best advantages of the job is I don't know what I'm going to get.
Yes.
You think you know the answer to the question, and then you don't.
Yes.
People surprise you.
They do.
And every day is different too. That's what I always love about this job is
Right.
you learn a little bit about a lot of things
Right.
each and every day. And here in the diner, we love to fill our brains with different points of view. Take it in, digest it, and you guys at home can hear what other people are thinking about any number of subjects. And we don't scream at each other. We don't insult each other. We take it in, we listen, and maybe we have another point of view and we can share that with them as well.
Right. And then 1 minute you could be talking about our political culture, talking about Donald Trump, which
Plenty
pervades
to talk about.
everything. And then you're talking about, Travis and Taylor, a whole different one. And then talking
Exactly.
about, hey, the internet broke, let's talk about it.
Yeah. Expect the unexpected, right? Especially when you robe this diner. I love seeing you yesterday talk to the folks in the diner, and really they're ready too. They want to talk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, sometimes they're not. This is live television. You've got to be ready to react to whatever's going to happen. And people are people. Again, you don't know what they're going to say. You don't know what they're going to do. But that's the glory of it.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yep.
Every day.
All right. Also, in addition to feeding you the news of the day, we want to get you some health and wellness motivation, maybe to get you ready for the holiday weekend. Connecting America's fitness correspondent Jenna Wolf with some tips now on getting a little workout in right at home. No excuses.
Oh, hi. What a great way to start my day, right? When it comes to the morning routine, if you know, you know. And if you don't, you should know. I have 5 non-negotiables. The first one, make my bed. Everyone says it. Set the tone. Make sure you gave yourself a little pride. Way to start the day off right. I also never snooze. You know, they say you snooze, you lose. I think it's because they don't want me to sleep too long. Let's go and brush our teeth. 2 minutes, right? Let's work on balance. Shoulders back, core tight. 1 minute. And 1 minute with each leg up. I work on balance everywhere, every day. But now, right off the bat, I've started with a little bit of that good core work. Next up, we're going to go make some coffee. It's cute to make a little coffee in the morning. Into my coffee go the following 3 things. I put my collagen, I put my creatine, and I put my fiber. You do what works for you. These 3, for me, into the coffee machine. And while that is brewing, I'm going to go ahead and stretch. This is number 4. Open my chest and go ahead and open my back. Elbows on the kitchen counter. Stick your bum all the way back and go ahead and dip yourself down. I'm here for 60 seconds. This feels so good. Again, you're going to want to lead up to it. These are things that work for me. You're going to find what works for you and then stick to it every day until it becomes a habit. Last but not least, put my face into the ice cold bucket for 30 seconds. Oh my gosh, here we go. Did you get all that? That's my morning routine. Set my mood, my mindset, and my momentum. Set yours and stick with it. Freeze it. Freeze it.
That looks painful, but I will tell you, I can attest to it. I love a good cold plunge.
But the face only for 30 seconds?
Oh, no, I'm full body. Full body in a ice cold bath for 30 to 60 seconds. I know it sounds ridiculous. It sounds awful, like I'd never do that. But I promise you, if you have had a long day and you're feeling exhausted, lethargic, and you've got to get to something and do something, it like shocks the body, sense of adrenaline, and first adrenaline, then calm.
Really?
And it puts it does something to your nervous system that puts you in a different space. You feel incredible.
So the cold plunge gives you like a moment of zen.
First it gives you a moment of, you want to scream an expletive. First then the zen comes, right? It's a 1-2 punch.
As long as we get to zen.
Yes.
It's okay. Do what you have to do to get there.
Do you get out as the toes are going numb, or how do you know when that 60 seconds
Oh, you
is
know,
up?
Jim. Believe me, you'll know when it's time to get out of the cold plunge.
So you do this at home in your bathtub?
Yeah, you can do it in your own, or you know what, you can actually, the quickest way to do it is if you've taken a nice hot shower, turn it all the way to cold, okay? But do it for a minute, okay? It's going to be painful. It's going to hurt, but it's a mental game. If you can power through that, you can do anything that day.
Did you do that this morning?
I
To
did.
get ready for Connecting America?
I did not.
No?
I didn't. I should have, but I did not.
All right, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, just
tomorrow.
report back,
Sure,
please.
you know how I make it through. All right, if you want to connect with us or find us, we're all over social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that information on your screen right now. And, at Connecting America TV on YouTube and Facebook. Also on Instagram at Connecting America TV, all one word. And we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you're thinking about the stories we're talking about every day.
You know, I was talking to the owner of this diner. This particular Sunrise Diner has been here for 12 years. Before that, it was called the Midas Touch and was here for years. In fact,
it has a long history.
when the Uber driver dropped me off, he's like, oh, this is the old Midas Touch. Well, the owner wanted to have a fresh, turn the page, start anew with his business. And amazing Greek family runs this. They have their own olive oil. And he actually gave me a sample of it. You know what? I'm going to show it later in the show. I don't know where I put it.
Did you try it yet?
I have not tried the olive oil this early in the morning. But there's like 5 different items on the menu.
When you get a second.
That are named.
Have you met Trish yet? Sorry to interrupt you.
I have met Trish.
Okay.
There are 5 different items on the menu that are named after the waitresses and what they've come up with. So they've come up with a different dish. And so the owner put it on the menu. I think that's genius.
Trish, I just wanted, what's the dish that's named after you? What is it?
Oh, I don't have one.
What?
Oh, okay, you need one.
And then you came out before I was able to come back.
Okay.
Well, you've
Maybe next time they update.
Are you working on one?
Well, if the boss lets me, there's plenty of things I like to eat. Don't worry.
All right, we'll talk to you about that maybe
Absolutely.
later. Oh, awesome. What would the Trish be?
Yo, that's the question.
But that's it.
Something
People have a
original.
relationship with their diner.
Oh, they do.
And that's an extension of that. I mean, sometimes you get to know the people behind the counter. They start to know your order. You start to recognize the regulars every morning.
We have learned so much just about Trish and her interesting life. Every time she comes to sit with us here at the table, her 29 cats, her music collection.
She has 29 cats?
Yes, she does.
Oh,
For roles
my
in horror movies, no
goodness.
less.
Yes.
Oh, because she's wearing something that has like little cat ears.
Yep, definitely a cat
So
lover.
hence the 29 cats.
Yes.
It's all coming together.
Yes,
Got
exactly. All right. We'll be right back. Coming up at the top of the hour as the diner fills up. Mark's going to be roaming around talking to people here.
That's
we
right.
can't wait to hear what they have to say. We'll be right back.
The views expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of USA Today or its affiliates.
Good morning and welcome back to Connecting America. I'm Jim Rosenfield along with Kate Sullivan in for Allison this morning. Mark Benamo here at the table as well. Kate, we're so glad you're joining us from Chicago.
Oh, thank Thank you. It's great to be here. We're at the Sunrise Diner in Roselle Park, New Jersey. Yes, I will tell you, we were just talking about a great diner, and there's no place that does diners better than New Jersey. That's why I'm so thrilled to be here.
You're going to do a little tour while you're here?
Yes. I went to Summit. The Summit Diner in Summit, New Jersey looks pretty great as well.
Right. Try it out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right. Like any diner, first things first, want to check out the menu. Some of the stories on our plate. More diner puns. Allison's going to kill me. Today's special is the viral news about Taylor Swift. If you didn't hear, I don't know, you're under a rock. Yes, they're engaged.
Yes.
Taylor and her now fiance, Travis Kelce, announced it on their Instagram accounts.
Yeah, listen to this caption. It's so cute. It says, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married."
Right.
That's their quote. Coming up in a few minutes, we will talk all things Taylor with USA Today's Entertain This producer and host, Ralphie Aversa. And this was kept under wraps for several weeks. So this is breaking news that really isn't breaking, right?
Yeah, his dad said that this happened a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Told a station in Cleveland. So yeah, they kept a really good job of keeping it.
And when that Instagram post hit, it literally got, as of yesterday, something like 18 million likes.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's going further, I'm sure, by now.
Yeah, everybody loves a love story, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, to other news, what's old is new again at Cracker Barrel. Yes, after a disastrous rollout of its new logo that went viral for all the wrong reasons, the old logo with Uncle Herschel and his barrel are back at it at the country-themed chain. Yeah, they did a little reverse switcheroo here. Conservatives, however, called the new logo woke, and stockholders panicked, causing the company to lose hundreds of millions of dollars at its lowest point. Finally, on Tuesday, Cracker Barrel returned to the old logo, the nostalgic one, hoping it will quell protests and calm investors. And right now, the share price is on the way back up in pre-market trading. So the customers have spoken and they listened.
Customer's always right. Isn't that what they say?
Absolutely.
What happened here? Did Uncle Herschel, who's depicted in this logo, was he disrespected?
He just needed a little vacation. Thank you, Trish.
Yeah.
He needed a little vacation.
And he wound up in the
he's
culture
back.
wars. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
I want to turn our attention overseas. This is a big story in Australia, which is now blaming Iran for a series of anti-Semitic arson attacks in that country. Investigators are saying arsonists firebombed a synagogue and also a kosher deli in Australia. And Iran's military, they say, had a hand in both of these incidents. And the Australians are now kicking Iran's ambassador out of the country.
Yeah, Chief Foreign Affairs Correspondent Amy Kellogg is joining us from Milan with more on this.
Good morning, Amy.
Drawing its diplomats from Tehran, so it's really a freezing of relations for now. Australia has the largest concentration of Holocaust survivors outside of Israel. And Prime Minister Tony Albanese says that there has, since the October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel and the subsequent war in Gaza, been really a marked uptick in anti-Semitic incidents in Australia, sadly. So they, in fact, think that many of these have been tied to Iran, but the intelligence services believe those two that you mentioned, the attack on the kosher restaurant in Sydney and the one on a synagogue that was actually built by Holocaust survivors in the 60s in Melbourne, were related to Iran. Nobody was injured in these attacks, but tremendous damage was done. And the prime minister called them, quote, extraordinary and dangerous acts of aggression meant to undermine social cohesion and sow discord in our community. Now, after a lengthy investigation, Australian intelligence was able to establish a link between these attacks and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. So they said that they used a very complex web of proxies like organized crime to carry them out to try to hide their involvement. And now Australia wants to actually designate the Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. They've kicked out the ambassador, and Iran has denied any involvement in this. Meanwhile, Israel is welcoming Australia's tough stance. Let's listen.
No doubt the government of Iran, I don't say the people of Iran, the government of Iran are a wholly negative influence on world affairs. They desire, they openly say they wish to wipe this country off the face of the earth. And they have around the world, in London and now it seems in Australia as well, are actively seeking to attack Jewish communities and other Israeli interests or targets in Israel.
Iran's foreign minister gave a comment in Farsi, and I will quote the translation. Apparently, the easiest thing to do is to accuse Iran of charges that have absolutely no real basis in order to divert attention from the realities in our region, the most important of which, he said, is the quote, genocide and killing in the region. And finally, the late Shah of Iran's son, Reza Pahlavi, who's been very active recently trying to rally opposition inside Iran to the clerical regime, said in a tweet, Australia has called a spade, rightfully expelling the Islamic Republic's ambassador and labeling the IRGC, which is the Revolutionary Guard, a terrorist organization for its vile attacks against the Jewish community. Now, Jim, Mark, and Kate, just last month, 14 countries, including the United States, put out a statement saying that they had seen a surge in plots, assassination plots, kidnapping plots, and harassment by Iranian intelligence. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the head of the UN's nuclear watchdog, which of course has been really putting the hard press on Iran's nuclear program, the leader there has been put under protection by an elite special services squad in Austria, where he is based, because there are threats against him, very serious, incredible threats, according to this report. Unnamed sources, but it does point the finger in this article at Iran. And Rafael Grossi, who is the head of the UN nuclear watchdog, has been threatened openly in Iranian media, being called, among other things, an Israeli spy. Back to you.
All right, Amy, and this comes at an interesting time between these two countries. I'm speaking about Australia and the state of Israel, because relations were a little frosty after Australia said they would recognize a Palestinian state, right?
Yep, that's absolutely true. So the foreign minister has added to all of this that she really doesn't want to see Australia suffer from all of the tensions that are taking place in a region that is very far away from them. But they do support a Palestinian state, but they say there is absolutely no reason or no room for anti-Semitism in their country. So they're treading a line and trying to continue to make Australia, or keep Australia, a place that is welcoming of all cultures, all religions, and all people, especially in terms of their security.
Now, this is a pretty dramatic move by Australia that expelled an ambassador for the first time since World War II. What are some other countries around the world trying to do with dealing with Iran, which many people think might be involved in state-sponsored terrorism?
Well, it's interesting. We've spoken so much, or read so much, heard so much about the decimation of Iran's proxy forces, whether it's Hezbollah or Hamas. And yet it seems that intelligence and cyber attacks, and in the case of Australia, anti-Semitic attacks meant to sow discord in society are on the rise. I think what's interesting is that the issue of whether or not to negotiate with Iran is now kind of more under the spotlight than ever after the 12-day war with Israel and Iran's basically blocking the work of the inspectors. There's a debate, should Iran be engaged, or should Iran be left under sanctions to eventually, hopefully, see some sort of regime change? I think the people in Iran, very many of whom are anxious for change and are tired of isolation, we're sort of hoping that during that war, or after that war, there'd be some social change and political change in their country. But I guess in the meantime, intelligence services are just on the high alert to all sorts of potential plots in the West and elsewhere being hatched by the Islamic regime.
All right. Amy Kellogg, live for us in Milan. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We have a lot more ahead on Connecting America. And as we go to break, we want to show you our question of the day. And it's an interesting one. Would you ride in a self-driving car, especially in a big city? So your two options are let's roll and no way, no how. And wow, it is flip-flop since the beginning of the show. I did not expect that. You can see a QR code on the bottom of your screen. Snap it with your mobile phone and cast your vote. We will check in throughout the hour and show you the results at the end of the show.
Now I'm really curious to maybe give it a try. See how it's
love story, and today's a day for that. It is turning out to be a good week for Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, shall we say, fiance. Yes.
It's official. To talk all things Taylor Swift and more, we're going to go straight to our guest today, USA Today's Ralphie Aversa. Ralphie is the host and producer of the Entertain This. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Ralphie, the internet broke yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, around 1 o'clock yesterday. I mean, I'm getting ready to file a story that I have coming to USA Today tomorrow with Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan for their new movie, The Thursday Murder Club. And as I'm writing that, I pop open Instagram real quick, and anybody that's on social media, I'm sure has seen not only the original post, this right here, but all of their friends repost this as well, as of course in a collaboration post between their two accounts on Instagram, Travis and Taylor, announcing their engagement. That, as you guys mentioned, actually happened, as we found out, thanks to Ed, Travis's dad, a few weeks ago at his home in Missouri.
Isn't it amazing that they were able to keep this under wraps? And then, of course, the dad speaks. This would be the same with my parents, right? Like, right? You do not want to interview my mom. She would tell all my secrets in a matter of seconds. So it's like, go to the less media trained person, which is always the mom and dad, right? That's when you find it out.
Hey, you know what? A shout out to local journalism, getting the job done here, getting the story, building the relationship with Ed, Travis's dad, and being able to get him on Zoom there as he kind of spilled all the beans. I think you got to give props to them and the news outlet in Cleveland. But yes, I thought the exact same thing, Kate, 100%. Like my dad would totally be that person. To answer your question, though, I will say I'm not terribly surprised, given that it is Taylor Swift. I mean, she is able to keep these things usually under wraps. So,
and Ralphie, just out of curiosity, do we know that was indeed Travis's backyard and that garden? I mean, it looks like a set, a movie set.
Right. What was the flower
really
bill on that?
Skeptical of this.
Right?
What was the flower bill?
Lord,
where was that?
Yeah,
do
they
we know
just
for
brought
fact?
in all that floral arrangement without her knowing.
you know what? Well, first of all, we know that I believe it was reported that when they started dating, or shortly thereafter it became public that they were dating, Travis needed to buy a new property in part to kind of protect his and Taylor's privacy. Again, we know that his father said that it was on their property. And our Taylor Swift reporter, Brian West, actually has a great story where he spoke with a florist in Kansas City about that whole arrangement that you guys are talking about. I will also say that, at least as far as I saw, there was no AI label on that one. So we don't have to worry about AI Adam or anyone else filling in the blanks there.
Well, it's beautiful, that's for sure.
By the way, we love how USA Today has this wired. And when I say this, I mean Taylor Swift coverage. You guys have your devoted Taylor Swift reporter. You're all over this as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously she is, the probably the most famous person in the world, certainly the biggest pop star in the world. And so, yeah, whether it's Taylor or Beyonce or any other big name, gotta be all over it.
Well, you're doing a great job, Ralphie. And I love a love story. I love the fact that they got engaged. I'll be honest, I didn't think they would. I thought they were too different. I really did.
Oh,
yeah, I thought this was going to be, a relationship she would write a lot of songs about and then she'd move on. But no, they are engaged.
Right, and major combining of forces. Remember, Travis Kelce is also very good at what he does.
Yes,
He's
he
going
is.
to the NFL Hall of Fame one day. This sports force and then this musical pop culture force together have created this tremendous phenomenon.
Yes.
And makes for great continued coverage, right, Ralphie?
Yeah. And by the way, you don't need to remind me of Travis's greatness. I don't know if you could see in my background the Buffalo Bills helmet. I am a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. And so trust me, I'm reminded annually, unfortunately, about Travis and the Chiefs' greatness. But that's another story for another time.
All right, Ralphie, thanks so much for joining us here on Connecting America. We appreciate it. And Trish is here at the table with us this morning.
Hello.
A regular here at the diner, serving up smiles and great service. Thanks for being here. We know you're not a Swiftie, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No apology necessary. But can you appreciate the buzz around this?
I know everyone's been following this very closely. I understand her career has been based on breakup songs. So yeah, this is a shock to her fans. I'm sure they're wondering what her next album's going to sound like when she's happy.
You know what, Trish? I think you speak for a lot of people who really their caring about this is minimal. There's a lot of people who are very passionate, and then a lot of people could care less, right?
But that's the whole thing. She was saying, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Talk about the songs, somebody to hold up a boombox and sing to the window and, just ask me to date her. And she's been disappointed for so long. Is this like realistic? Is this what happens in real life? Is this what you're looking for?
My husband proposed at an amateur wrestling league in the ring.
See, Kate, what did I tell you?
Trish,
you learn something new about
You're
Trish
amazing.
every
Is
day.
that really true?
Oh yeah, one of his friends does a lot of wrestling program, amateur wrestling,
Yes.
and they worked it out together. I thought he was going to the ring to get like hit with a chair, so I had my camera out. I was all excited. Then they called me to the ring. I said, "Am I going to get hit with a chair?" I didn't really know what was going to happen, but it's beautiful. I do have it on tape, so.
Amazing.
That
Can you
is-
share
cell
that?
phone.
You know what? That is an equally beautiful moment.
Oh, it was
right?
lovely.
Maybe no flowers, but equally
No,
beautiful.
but it was beautiful
And-
and completely threw me for a loop.
Aw,
Right.
that's
He
And you
somehow
said
snuck
yes.
around to my father and got my grandmother's ring, which is the only one I ever wanted.
Oh,
how
let me
beautiful.
see. Let me see.
Oh, it's
Oh,
an
that's
old miner's
gorgeous.
cut.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's
How long have you
gorgeous.
been married, Trish?
I've been married a little over a year, but my grandmother wore this for 66 years.
Oh,
That's
wow.
amazing.
That is some good luck.
Amazing.
And she did help raise me, so
Yeah.
she was more of a mother to me.
Oh,
So this is the
what
one
is-
I
and
wanted.
what is her first name?
Her name was Gladys Sayata.
Gladys. Wow, some good energy coming from Gladys off that ring. That's
So did you
awesome.
stay in the ring or what? What did
No,
you do
no,
after
we
that?
left fairly quickly. There were more matches. It was like literally the middle of the show.
It was time to celebrate, right? It was
We
time
had
to
a
get out
great
of there.
time. I did
Right.
good. I did get a glass of wine from concession.
Fantastic.
As you should.
We need to see that video, Trish, at some point.
I'll send it. No problem.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, if you're planning a party before the end of summer, the first thing you need is a little bit of good weather. The second thing, home improvement expert John Culinary, he's here to help you get your backyard ready.
Hey, Jim and Allison. I am so excited to be with you today on Connecting America. We are actually at my house in my backyard here, and I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, some ideas on how to start that entertaining, getting your outdoor space, specifically your patio area, set up for family and friends, and what are the tips and tricks to really having a great entertaining space. All right, so the first thing you want to do, you want to create certain zones that people can be comfortable in, and they have different functions. First things first, I came out, I wiped everything down, super, super easy. The polywood material and all the furniture you see is the polywood furniture. Very easy to wipe down. It's something that you don't have to worry about. So all those maintenance issues that you're nervous, like, should I leave my furniture out? Should I take it in? No worries here. It's recycled plastic, very easy to maintain, and that is why I love it. What you see is I've created a sitting area, so when people come over, before we're ready to eat and really hang out at the table, we come here, we have drinks. You can see that I have my outdoor rug all set up here. I love using ruggable rugs. It's just something that it's super easy to keep outside. It doesn't fade. You can take it inside your house and wash it as well. So I like that ability that even though it's outside, it's easy to clean. So I have this rug setting the space for my first entertaining kind of hangout where we can relax here. It's very comfortable for everybody to just hang out and really talk before we get into our meal. So on top of it, one of the big elements that I added this year was I get a lot of sun in my backyard. So I went with a 10 by 10. This is by Midtown Umbrellas. I absolutely love it. As you can see, this is their cantilever umbrella. Absolutely massive. Again, 10 by 10, that's 100 square feet. The beauty of this is you can take it and you can do whatever angle that you want. It moves 360. So I can move this depending on the time of day, how much sun. The other part that I love about this umbrella is as it starts to get dusk and night, it has built-in LEDs that are on the frame. So nighttime, this creates a nice area that we can entertain, hang out, and have light that comes down from the umbrella. So this area really creates a beautiful, I'll call it an outdoor living room area that really allows your guests to kind of hang out, have a couple of drinks, talk, relax before you actually get into making your meal. So the next area that you want to create is your eating area, right? You are outside. You want to have an eating area for the family and friends to come over. So as you can see here, again, I have the polywood furniture, easy to clean, easy to wipe down. I've done that already. After we are done eating, then we like to enjoy ourselves and sit by the fire pit. So let me show you the fire pit area and the outdoor TV. Come on. Down at my lower patio, I wanted this to be the area where it's a hangout, that we have a fire pit. Super easy. This is propane. Lights in a second. You can really just enjoy yourself while you're sitting out here. Then on top of it, we have the outdoor TV. I wanted to have an outdoor TV that wasn't stationary. I wanted something that was mobile because, as you can see, we're in different zones of my outdoor space. So I have this mobile cart that I've mounted my TV on. I can move this around. It's a Wi-Fi TV, very easy to operate. So this was really important to have this mobile cart that allowed just for the ease of really moving throughout the property and having that entertainment. All right, so this necessarily isn't a zone. This is kind of the backbone of my entertainment space. This is an RTA outdoor kitchen. It comes with all of the Coyote different appliances and storage areas. So what's great is when you're ordering this outdoor area, you have both of them combined. You have the Coyote brand, you have the RTA brand where there is no maintenance. Again, no maintenance on the stainless steel, and it makes the install in designing your outdoor kitchen super, super easy, which is always the key when you're setting up your outdoor space. All right, thank you everybody for joining me on my outdoor space and my outdoor patio. Hopefully you've seen some ideas and some inspiration that you can do in your outdoor space, having those family and friends over, and figure out how can you create those zones that are in your outdoor area that allow you to have those great functions. So thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see everybody again soon on Connecting America. Thanks.
All right, thanks, John. I'm ready to go over to John's house.
I was going to say we need an invite because
Yes.
he's got it wired.
He does.
And he talks about zones. You and I need a zone, right, Mark? As in a backyard.
Absolutely.
We live in the
I don't
city.
understand.
Right.
I live in a 22-story building.
Right.
What are
That's
you
not
talking
feasible
about?
for you.
No.
But you know, there's so much he talked about. I want to see it in person, don't you? I want to see how it all comes together. And it looks like the way the confidence that he spoke, you got the sense he did the install.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Right. No, I'd like to see
Waiting
it
for
all.
the invite,
Right,
John.
John. Yes. Call us.
We'll be right back. Yeah.
Welcome back, and file this under "This is going to cause some problems." Southwest Airlines will soon require travelers who don't fit within the armrests of their seat to pay for an extra seat in advance. Yes, yes, yes. The new rule goes into effect on January 27th. Right now, plus-size passengers can either pay for an extra seat in advance with the option of getting that money back later, or they can request a free extra seat at the airport. Under the carrier's new policy, a refund is still possible, but no longer guaranteed. Wow, this is really going to cause a lot of issues.
Well, and also just can we say, I mean, so many of these seats and the leg room and everything's getting smaller and
Yes, it
smaller
is.
to
Yep.
fit more passengers
Right.
in. So it's a very awkward situation if, if you're
People
someone
already
who
feel
does not
aggrieved
fit.
when they're getting on a plane now.
Angry.
Flying experience. Ugh. Yeah. So, where this goes, it's going to be interesting to see.
And to put it on the folks from the airlines to tell people that they're too large, I mean, as if they don't have enough stress.
Yeah.
That is a very delicate conversation. But I do understand it both ways, because if you buy a seat, you want to be able to sit in it, right? And you don't want to have someone on top of you. So I can see it both ways.
Right. But that's the whole thing. When people go on airplanes now, they're feeling like, am I getting what I'm paying for?
Or what am I getting?
Yeah, what am I getting
for my
right?
Exactly.
for my ticket? Right.
Exactly. So that's going to just keep coming up over and over again. Now we're going to see that.
It'll be interesting to see whether they get any pushback on this, like the Cracker Barrel situation at all, in terms of PR disaster.
Yeah.
All right. Throughout this show, we've been asking you, speaking of modes of transportation, would you ride in a driverless car? One of the biggest companies doing that is Waymo on the West Coast. And now the self-driving car service, they're testing things out, yes, here in New York City.
Unbelievable.
It's been up and running in other big cities. New York, kind of a different animal.
Kind of.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah,
Let's
that
see
is
if you
scary.
guys agree with another look at our question of the day. Would you ride in a self-driving car in a big city like NYC? Let's roll at 54% right now. No way, no how. Coming in at 46%. And again, you can vote by scanning that QR code right there on the screen. If you haven't decided, that's okay too. Maybe you want to see how this rolls out.
Are you ready to live dangerously, right? Some people are looking for a risk when they wake up in the morning. Let's get right to our Big Apple political commentator, Andrew Kurtzman, with a closer look at how New Yorkers are taking the news. Andrew, so great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Let's hear what do you think? How do New Yorkers feel about this?
I think New Yorkers are very curious about this. The taxi drivers and Uber drivers aren't so thrilled about it. They've held press conferences denouncing it. It used to be that Uber was seen as a threat to taxi drivers. Now driverless cars are seen as a threat to Uber drivers and taxi drivers. And, the unions are kind of using every argument you can think of. They're kind of pulling on kind of this romanticized version of taxi drivers as, urban philosophers, people who, talk about their lives and ask you about your mother and your families. And, not every New Yorker feels that way about taxi drivers.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm sure a lot of them would enjoy the peace and quiet of a Waymo.
But we talk about, Andrew, New York being a different animal from some of these other cities where Waymo is in use. You've got notorious jaywalkers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all those bikes now, the bike
Oh my
lanes, and how
gosh, with the chains
difficult
around
that
them, the
is to
messages.
navigate, even if you're a pedestrian, let alone a driver. And we should also point out, Andrew, right now during this test phase, the Waymo cars do have a human in there.
That's
But
right.
It just seems fraught with possible problems here in New York.
Right. Well, I mean, Waymo has lots of statistics showing that they're safer than cars with, traditional drivers. But New York City is starting very small. They've just approved a pilot project just for 1 month with just 8 cars. Right. So it's a small test. But, they're kind of cracking the door open to, something that'll be much larger. And, there was a lot of opposition in other cities which have, similar traffic issues like San Francisco. And they were setting Waymo cars on fire. It was a big controversy, and now they're doing, I think, over 1 million rides a day sorry, maybe it's a week in San Francisco. It's a lot.
Yeah, taxi drivers have been through a lot over the past decades with Uber and now driverless cars. And safety is paramount. That's the question. How far are you going, right? Like, are you going right down Broadway? Maybe I'd get into a driverless car. But if I'm going to be going across town, I'm going into the boroughs, I don't know, right?
Listen, but Andrew, I have to ask you, as a native New Yorker and someone who's lived in New Jersey a long time, isn't this part of our cultural experience, our unique driving style? Isn't something going to somehow be lost here?
What do you mean, that they'd actually be safe?
Exactly. Pay attention. Pay attention. Got to be a little sharper.
Let's not knock those hardworking taxi drivers.
Right.
I know
right,
ex-mayor Bill de Blasio said, really bad idea. What about the current mayor? Is he on board with this?
No, de Blasio is against it. I mean, de Blasio is, he's very, very pro-union. He's looking at it perhaps from an ideological point of view. But, he has a point. I mean, New York City is a very, very tough town to get around in. If you take a look at a Waymo car, it's got all of these bells and whistles. You got like computerized, whatever they are, radars, and lots of stuff that has been heavily tested and has proved mostly successful in other cities. It's not, these guys have tested these things for years now. This isn't just kind of plopping these things down in the city. So I wouldn't, I would give them kind of a benefit of doubt at this point. They've been pretty successful.
All right, we're going to let you test one out first for us.
Yeah, you go first. And I will tell you, Andrew, the next time I get into a taxi, I am going to think of the concept of urban philosopher, thanks to you, and I'm going to smile. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here on Connecting America, Andrew. Appreciate it. Hey, since we're talking about New York,
yes,
you're here.
I am.
Close to the Big Apple.
Very close.
Are you going to hit any Broadway shows while do you have time?
I don't have time. I've got parent-teacher night going on tonight. So I've got to get back, but I love Broadway and I would love to.
All right, before you go,
yes,
we're going to give you a little preview. Our Dave Briggs, who's going to be here co-hosting with me tomorrow, recently sat down with Broadway correspondent Lee Sheps about the hot shows around.
Coming off of a record-breaking year, Broadway is on fire and showing no signs of stopping. So what should you see this summer and into the fall? Our Broadway contributor, Lee Sheps, is here with us. Lee, nice to see you. It was shocking. We thought we'd never eclipse pre-COVID numbers. How did it happen?
We saw a lot of celebrities on Broadway last season, between Denzel Washington, Jake Gyllenhaal, George Clooney, just to name a few, topping the box office records last year in attendance.
Is that sustainable, that type of celebrity status on Broadway? Is that what it's going to need to see big numbers?
I think we're going to have to see more celebrities in order to drive more audiences that might not necessarily have wanted or decided to see a Broadway show, that name is drawing them to see the Broadway show and going into Manhattan to see it.
It's what's got my attention and all my friends going to Broadway. So let's talk about this summer. What are the hot shows? Are they even on Broadway?
The hottest shows this summer, I'm going to say, are not actually on Broadway. I'm going to start with Across the Pond in London. Rachel Zegler is starring in a revival of Evita, and that show is blowing up online because the big number, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, she actually steps outside of the theater onto a balcony and performs the number for a crowd who line up in droves to watch her sing every single night.
That is a fantastic marketing effort. How are people in the theater feeling about the big number being performed outside of it?
Well, we've been reading some articles that some ticket buyers, because they're spending a lot of money on the show, some aren't so happy that the performance, the big number, is performed outside and they're watching it on the screen, but others think it's incredible. And one idea could be go again the next night and watch the number outside of the theater if you want to get that point of view as well.
And she's just trying to bounce back, I think, after that tough Snow White box office performance, but an extraordinarily talented young lady, right?
She is made for the stage. I saw her in her High School Musical production of Shrek. I was there. I knew she was going to be a star then. But the other shows I want to talk about, you know, if we're talking about Andrew Lloyd Webber's Evita, let's talk about Andrew Lloyd Webber again, because Phantom of the Opera closed a few years ago on Broadway, but he has been back in New York City. He is been teasing. Yes, he's got a new show. It's based off of Phantom of the Opera. It's called Masquerade. It's very exclusive. It's been selling out, and the show is playing off Broadway on 57th Street. And here's what I know about it. You have to wear a mask to go into the theater. You have to dress up in cocktail or formal attire, and you cannot wear heels. So it is.
I have to go back. Mask?
Mask. You must wear a mask.
What type of mask? A COVID mask or a phantom mask?
A phantom-esque mask, but I guess it must be up to interpretation, right? So I have one in my costume box at home. So when I go see it, I'm gonna have to whip it out. But I guess black, white, or silver masks. And if you don't have one, if you forget yours, they'll give you one at the theater to wear.
Because the term mask takes us back to a time which we don't want to remember.
You make a point about that.
It's nice to activate, you know, if you're doing a Broadway show. Anything else hot right now?
I want to talk about Heathers the musical. That's playing off Broadway at New World Stages. That has already a huge cult backing to it. It's about high schoolers and the high school drama that happens. And that just extended into January. And so that's the other hot summer show that people are talking about.
And then do the big shows really come in the fall?
Yeah, so right now, in terms of new shows, there's usually a lull on Broadway for new shows on Broadway. That doesn't mean that people aren't going to see Broadway shows. Summer is a huge busy season for Broadway, but the new shows don't really start until the fall. And we're gonna see a lot of shows on Broadway this fall that we've seen before. Beetlejuice. It is the third time that Beetlejuice is back on Broadway. It opened pre-COVID and then it came back, and now it's a third. It's the same show, so it's not necessarily a revival, but it's just back on Broadway. Another show that we're seeing, here we go again, Mamma Mia is now back on Broadway.
This makes me so happy. This is one of my favorite films of all time, and it was on Broadway.
It was on Broadway. It opened right after 9/11 in 2001 and played until 2015. So it hasn't been on Broadway in 10 years. It's also not a revival. It's the same Broadway show that we loved back then, playing at the Winter Garden Theater where it opened in 2001. So that show is playing, and as you said,
now the song is playing in my head, Mamma Mia.
And you know, it's interesting because people maybe who didn't see the Broadway show, like me, I have to admit, I never saw the original. They saw the movie, then they saw Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and now they want to see the stage version. Just like we've been seeing with Wicked, people may not have seen the stage version of Wicked, but they saw the movie, and now they want to go see the stage version.
So many teenagers, including my 13-year-old, absolutely love that. So that will do well. Anything else to look forward to this fall?
Well, we're having a revival of Chess, starring Lea Michele, and Aaron Tveit is back on Broadway, and Ragtime is another big one. I saw that at New York City Center last year. People were crying next to me in the audience. That show opened originally in 1998, and it lost Best Musical to a little show called The Lion King.
Heard of that?
I've heard of that. But this show is about three families seeking the American dream at the turn of the 20th century. So that is a show that everyone's going to be talking about this fall.
Lee Sheps, looks like another record breaker could be potential. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lee Sheps has a costume box at home.
This just in.
I just learned that. I want to see what's in there. That's wild.
Well, now I have a full list of shows that when I come back, I can go see.
And you'll miss this visit.
Yes.
Something to come back
Mamma
for.
Mia is on the list for sure.
Hey, let's check out our national diner
please.
of the day. We're heading to Denver, Colorado, the Moonlight Diner and Bar today. They got your classic chrome booths, breakfast classics as well, endless coffee, of course, just as they have here at the Sunrise. And they also have some truly unique eats, like French toast glazed donut
that
with
looks
bacon
good.
and eggs. How's that to get your
That's
morning
a
started?
lot of food, but it looks great.
They just celebrated their 21st anniversary out there in Denver. Ooh, that looks serious. All right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the Sunrise Diner, you look like you're having something absolutely spectacular.
This is one of my favorite, you know, if I'm OD'd on the eggs, which you can easily do in a diner, right? I go with the yogurt parfait from Trish dropped it off for me. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Still more
that's
ahead
great.
right here after the break. We may break the internet talking about foods that can turn up the heat in the bedroom.
Oh dear.
All Aren't you glad you're filling in today?
Yes, on all days.
I'll
be
learn
right back.
something. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Sunrise Diner here in Roselle Park, New Jersey. Kate,
Yes.
are you going to order something?
I have a diner order. I always get a grilled cheese with a slice of tomato because it's something that's warm, it's comforting, and it just tastes better in a diner. We're here with the owner of Sunrise Diner, Doug. Thanks so much for being with us, and thanks for having us in every day. Can I ask, please help me. I've always had a question every time I come to a
What's
diner,
that?
and that is, it's only at a diner that you have such a wealth of items on the menu. It is like a Bible of different information, of all these different items. How do you keep all of the ingredients in stock so that, whether you want meatloaf or vermicelli or grilled cheese, it's all here?
It's not easy. Yeah, and every time I work on the inventory, I sit down with the chef and we go over and I always ask him, is there anything we could take out of the menu? And but it's a juggle and we try and work it out, make sure. By the way, at the Sunrise Diner, we 95% of everything we make is fresh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite from the menu?
Oh, now you're killing me.
I'm sorry.
There's like 25 things there. Now, the penny vodka that we make here, we have people from Jersey City, from far away from here ordering.
It's a little heavy for breakfast, though.
No, yeah, for breakfast, yes, yeah. But that you asked me for my favorite.
Your favorite is you like
the
penne?
penne vodka is amazing. Now, in terms of breakfast, we a couple of years ago we spoke to the servers, and we actually dedicated. There's a page of breakfast there it has all the dishes have the server's name on it
I love
because
this.
they created that dish, and it was their favorite dish.
That's
Doug,
wonderful.
that is a
So,
testament to creating a great culture. It says a lot about you, from Lily's silver dollar Oreo pancakes to
Yep.
Priscilla's powerhouse sandwich with those egg whites and spinach and avocado. They sound delicious, but they're based on the server's recommendations.
Recommendations, yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
it's interesting. My daughter was the one who had that idea, and I, being the old Greek, philosophy. No, we don't change. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And now it's that page is one of our best sellers.
Oh, listen to your daughter, right? She knows. Yeah, listen to the customers and the servers, right? They know
definitely,
too.
yeah.
So this is not your first gig. I mean, you had another life before you became the full owner of this diner.
Yeah, I worked for Johnson & Johnson for 35 years. I started in drug discovery, research and development, and then I moved on to sales and marketing.
And now you're in research and development, all things food.
Food, exactly.
And that chemistry degree is going to work with the olive oil that you sell here and make in Greece, correct?
Yeah, so the story behind Pure Greek is actually we are the 5th generation taking care of that property.
Wow.
It's my wife's family. We actually have pictures around the diner where we have trees that are over 500 years.
That's amazing.
I need to look at those pictures.
And a couple of years ago, I decided to take over. So I go to Greece 2-3 times a year. November is the harvest in Europe. So I'll be there. I always go and help do the harvest.
So you can find us here in the diner, but you can also go online, buypuregreek.com. Buy as in B-Y. Buy Pure Greek. That's really cool. I had no idea Kate discovered this.
Yes. Well, I'm the foodie. And I will tell you, I can't wait to try this olive oil.
All right, Doug,
thank you.
hide the kids just for a moment, okay? Because we are talking SEX. This is the PG breakfast edition. Don't worry. In fact, it's all about food. So we're going to learn something here. Food that gets you in the mood.
That's right. Here's our sex expert, Mackie Swan. And Mackie, you are a wealth of sexual knowledge. So we're asking you to just keep it tame at this hour, but we're talking about food, correct?
We are talking about food, and I promise I'll do my best to keep it PG today.
So let's get into it. Which foods are best to get in the mood?
Awesome. So maybe you feel like your libido could use a little nudge, or maybe you're just looking to try something new with your husband or wife. Really great way to spice things up, literally, with your partner is to cook an aphrodisiac meal with them. So today I'm going to share some of the top aphrodisiac foods for you to try. Before I get into the specifics, though, some viewers might have the question, are aphrodisiacs even real? The short answer is yes, absolutely. Different types of foods have different aphrodisiac properties. So some can actually impact your hormones, others just help your blood flow, and some just help you really relax. So with that, I'll go ahead and dive into the top 5 libido boosting foods. The first one on the list is my absolute favorite, and that's dark chocolate. So dark chocolate is romantic, of course, but it also has a lot of organic compounds that can really promote love and desire. On top of that, it does have a healthy dose of serotonin. So that's a really great way to relax and get in the right headspace for romance, especially for women.
Did we slow-mo that video?
So,
Did we actually slow-mo that video, Mackie?
Of course, red wine is sexy, but there's real science behind this. Red wine helps lower your blood pressure, and it can also increase your blood flow. So that's a really perfect recipe for setting the mood. Okay, the next one is probably the most well-known aphrodisiac. If you've heard of aphrodisiacs, you've probably heard this one mentioned. And that's oysters. So oysters are really full of zinc, and zinc can actually impact men's testosterone levels and can help increase sexual desire, particularly for men. So that's another really good one.
Okay, for men.
The next one we have is really sweet, and that's figs. Figs are full of minerals that can help boost stamina and arousal. They also have certain amino acids that can help support your libido. And fun fact, figs were actually considered by the ancient Greeks to be sacred to the goddess Aphrodite, and that's how aphrodisiacs got their name.
That's really
Okay,
interesting.
the last one on the list,
sorry.
perfect for summer, is watermelon. Watermelon's high in amino acids, so
Hydrating.
that can help promote blood flow. It can help enhance arousal, and is just a really good way to enjoy some extra fruit during the summer season. So those are my top 5 libido boosting foods. One thing I will say though, it's not just about eating aphrodisiac foods specifically. Your libido is going to be best supported by having an overall balanced diet. So you want to make sure that you're getting a lot of whole foods, lean proteins, really healthy fats, and those things are going to help optimize your libido and make sure that you are ready to go.
I have a question. So that, you've mentioned all these great foods, but I'm wondering in what portions should you eat them? I have 1 square of dark chocolate a day. I've been doing this for a year because
Really?
I read that it's high in antioxidants. You got to have more than 70% cacao when you have your dark chocolate. But I have noticed no change in my libido with this 1 square. So perhaps I'm not eating enough, or what would you recommend?
I would recommend maybe you go to 2 squares of dark chocolate a day. It depends on the food, how much you need. I will say, I mentioned red wine, but that one should come with a disclaimer. You don't want to engage too much, or that could have adverse effects on your libido. So I think you're doing the right thing by trying to eat an aphrodisiac food every day, because it's not just about the dose; it's also about how often you're eating the foods.
How often? All
And
right.
you have to be a raw oyster fan.
Yeah, to really get many of those down.
I think you do, and transparently, I am personally not. But again, that's an easy one to do if you want to get that extra boost of zinc.
Mackie, you are a wealth of sexual knowledge. We appreciate this menu you've laid out for us. Some of
We'll
which
take it
I'm
under
willing
advisement.
to try.
Yes.
Yeah, I like figs,
Awesome.
I like
Thank you guys
watermelon.
so much.
Now that you know.
Thanks, Mackie.
Thank you. Well, let's turn to our question of the day today, which is, would you ride a self-driving car, especially in a big city like New York? Is it let's roll or no way, no how? Right now, 54% are saying let's roll. You can see the QR code on the bottom of the screen, snap it with your mobile phone, and you can cast your vote, and we will check in throughout the hour and at the end of the show.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of people willing to give it a try. I think I would be willing to give it a try, but not in New York.
Right, on a country road.
Yeah, exactly.
An old country road.
I don't know. The sense of risk when you're driving, I'm sorry. I got to admit I like it.
You
I
like
think
it?
I do. I mean, and that's, again, part of the experience. You go around certain roads in New York and New Jersey and even around the country in the big cities. You got to pay attention. You got to be sharp. In a self-driving car, you're kind of lulled to sleep.
Yeah. Well, when you see a pedestrian walking and then you're in a self-driving car, do you stick your head out the window and go, I'm in a self-driving car?
Right.
Run for your life.
Do you trust the self-driving component to stop?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I think a lot of this is just about getting our heads around automation and,
Yes.
and how much of an impact it's having on all of our lives and on people's jobs. And we've seen it in the television industry. I mean, remember the days when there were actually lots of people in the studio with us, and now cameras are robotic.
Yes.
And even teleprompters became robotic. I mean, this is inside baseball, but we saw it in our industry in terms of automation, and we just have to sort of get used to those changes. It could be tough at first.
Yeah, we could laugh at this segment, in 5 to 10 years when
Mhm,
everybody's
exactly.
in a driverless car.
All right. If you want to connect with us, feel free to follow us. Find us on social media. We are all over the place. Look at all those handles: Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All that information right there on your screen. That's going to do it for today's edition, Hump Day edition of Connecting America. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here live at the Sunrise Diner in Roselle Park. Kate, thanks for joining us.
Great
today.
to be with you. Have a wonderful day, everyone.